Welcome to the Collective Sessions Pro Artist Series. This session features Grammy Award-winning bass player Reggie Young. Reggie discusses not only the dynamics and nuances of great musicians and great music, but also the faith, community, and connection that have served as pillars in both his life and his life's work. Reggie is the resident bassist at the legendary Apollo Theater, and he has played with the greats such as Lenny Kravitz, Stevie Wonder, and Alicia Keys, to name just a few. Reggie brought 3 amazing musicians into the studio for this extraordinary session. The conversation is rich, and the music is something to behold. I hope you enjoy.
Ready, here we go.
we take that. We'll live with it.
Oh
Mr.
my
Moment.
goodness.
Oh yeah.
I have all kinds of questions. I was writing feverishly. I couldn't.
I saw you. Every time you put the pencil down, you would just like, where's that pencil?
I have all. Oh man! And then you just brought it back at the end. You just brought it back to that phrasing, you know.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Talk about dynamics.
This is why I said the questions might need to happen right now. They still fresh. They still right here.
Unbelievable. I just thank you. I can't say it. I can say it. I'm going to say it again and again. So blessed. So thankful to have you guys here. Unbelievable. It's almost 2 years to the day you performed here in the Performing Arts Center at the first Pianos and Poets that we ever had. And I don't know if you know this, but you planted a seed, because before you got up to play Amazing Grace, you gave a little talk about grace. And I've been thinking about grace ever since then.
Wow.
And I just read recently this idea, so I can't remember where I read it, but it said that justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. But grace is when you get what you don't deserve. Yeah. What compelled you to talk about grace? You could have talked about anything that night, but grace was your opener, your preface to that song. Why was that? How did that come to even happen?
I remember that night. It's a beautiful thing that you put together with piano and poets, or
Pianos
is it
poets,
yeah, pianos and poets. And there's just the energy in the room and the way things was feeling, kind of like today, right? Just on a large scale, lots of students, just having the opportunity, giving them that opportunity to present what's in their hearts and what their hard work, playing their little pieces, some very complicated, some not as complicated, some speaking, some singing. And that to me was an extension of grace. Right? Where else would they get this opportunity, right? So in a sense, you were being gracious in putting this program together to allow that platform and opportunity for the kids to do what they do. And everybody was just so comfortable doing it. And a lot of times, most of us, all of us, maybe you too, all of you as well, have a church background of some sort, some degree, right? And we're fortunate enough as professional musicians not only play outside of church and secular music in all different genres, but as well to play in pretty well organized musical structures in churches. And that's what our faith is based on, right? Grace, right? So we can identify it, the spirit, the warmth, and then there's the structure behind it, of course, biblically, but just the gratitude and just appreciating that ability to be able to express, to be able to share our gifts. Words sometimes can't even describe it, and that's why those magical moments come when we're even playing. So sometimes growing up in that church-based structure, there's we almost can't explain the why. It's just a feeling, right? When you're spiritually connected to God, any kind of a prayer life, whatever level that it's on, He speaks to you, that good voice. Sometimes I say it to people that way so they can understand it a little better, right? There's the good voice and there's the bad voice. When you say that to people, sometimes they get it, because everybody, like you said, we're not perfect. Nobody's walking on water, right? We all make mistakes. Sometimes we have to make decisions, right? And there's the good voice and then the bad voice. So you want to listen to that good voice to continue on. And that's that good voice that speaks to you. And then and in that room that night, that's what I was feeling. And I had no idea that it resonated with you the way you're saying it did.
Deeply. And with many of the students too, you know. It just, again, it was just a seed, I think, that you planted.
Yeah.
And I've heard the expression grace before, you know, but I just never had the opportunity, I think, to just really think about it and ponder it and ruminate on it and let it kind of grow inside of me and think about it. All of you guys come from the gospel church background?
Yeah.
All of you guys?
Yeah.
Wow, what has that been like? Did you guys play together in the same church growing up, or did you guys separate churches? I still don't know. I don't think most people know, like even where you grew up. I know that you said you started as a drummer, and then you told me one day about a year ago, you're like, everybody wanted to be a drummer.
Yeah, I got
I'm gonna
delivered
pivot.
from
I'm gonna go
drums.
do something different.
Yeah.
And I think most gospel musicians, we all started playing drums
Yeah.
or at some level. You know,
Yeah.
I started playing drums too.
Yeah.
Can't
And
play right now, but you know.
Well, I'm actually gonna that question. I'm gonna let Jammal take that, because I'll end it where he actually just said, yes, we all started on drums, and that's kind of like a thing, either drums or pianos in the house. Like kids are always fascinated by the drums in church. Just want to bang and make that noise.
Yeah.
That sometimes, though, that structure, that foundation, you're a drummer, establishing that groove. Now you internalize that. Even if you go to a different instrument, you got that groove in your soul, because you're really a drummer in heart, but you found love in like another instrument. And as far as us growing up in churches,
Yeah.
I'll let him take that.
Yeah, definitely grew up in church, and I would say I found my passion for music in church, seeing those guys play, and then one day them guys saying, here's a pair of sticks, and then you go and play, and it's like, wow, you fell in love with this instrument. And then after I started on drums, I went to piano, and just fell in love with it. So the great thing about church is it's an opportunity for you to grow at such a fast pace, because church, you're constantly in rehearsals, you're constantly learning new material. And that's one thing that I'm so grateful for in my background, because if you might do a cantata, you might do a recital once or twice a year, but in church you're playing every week. You're in rehearsals every week, so you're able to learn and grab so much information. And I'm appreciative on so many levels for that training that I got in church, because yes, it is sometimes very organized, and then sometimes we grew up in situations when we didn't know what they were going to sing, and you had to, when they got to their second word of that song, you had to start playing, or else they would like look at you and say, you don't know what you're doing, get off. But that really taught us how to improv. It taught us how to flow. It really just gave us a different balance of being musical and musicality. So
I love that. It's a spiritual training and musical training all wrapped in
all
one.
in one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
What just happened? What just happened? Wow.
He went like altered on the whole.
I know.
On the whole one chord. Like, that was, I most people play like one, then altered.
I couldn't write. I was in a trance.
I've honestly never heard "Oh Happy Day" done that way. I haven't. That might start something.
Did you just come up with that off the fly? Would
It's
you this
blasphemy.
New Orleans,
Yeah.
New Orleans second line
Ooh,
thing that
that's
just
nice,
off the top of your head?
Yeah,
you
so you
decided?
can see them at the funerals marching through the streets, and they're playing something that's normally really up.
Right.
They playing it real somber,
Yeah.
you know, and real draggy and real bluesy, and it's just like, whew, they could kill it.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. Oh, that was nice. Okay, we might have to record that. That's one for the project.
I also have to thank you. I recently went back to that production that you created during COVID. I think we were talking about that before. Branden, his head's shaking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what a gift, right?
Yeah.
You said you're still going back to that?
Absolutely.
I'm the time.
What-
Yeah, so I knew Reggie from afar because in gospel, you just know people, and Reggie is just, I didn't know him. I knew him as a phenomenal bass player, but we got to be brothers a year and a half ago. He's a phenomenal, great person, became a big brother to me and helped me grow in every area in life. So when COVID was happening, you're just looking to see like, what is on? Like what? In YouTube, I said, I got the talent, or
I am the talent TV.
So I'm like, what is this? So I know Reggie, that he's having these people on that are just phenomenal people and musicians. I'm like, I'm gonna tune in every Friday. So no matter where I was home, I set my alarm saying, I gotta watch this podcast. And one of the greatest ones that, all of them were great, but one of the greatest one when you had Bill Maxwell, I had no idea who Bill Maxwell was. And then he was saying how he was a drummer, but also he's a songwriter for the
10-time
Winans.
Grammy Award
Yeah, 10-time
winning.
Grammy Award winning. Wrote for the Winans, wrote for the Hawkins.
Andre Crouch.
Andre Crouch, with Jamie Foxx show, all these people. So I got to know all these things because of Reggie's YouTube show. And I was like, this is amazing. So it was great.
Wow, it's prolific. I haven't even seen that one.
Yeah.
I had to get. I remember at one point, I think it may have been Lincoln was talking, and then
Lincoln Goins.
Goins, and then
Yeah.
his son came into the frame. He
Yeah.
goes, "Yo, come here. This is the Godfather right here. You gotta see the Godfather."
Yeah.
I just thought it was so nice how you kind of served as like the father figure, bringing all those voices together during a time where everybody was in pain. People were dying, and there was people were sick, and there was just that moment of light and joy and music. And then the Victor Wooten piece was so cool. I mean, that was another sermon. You know, he started talking about, because he has this affinity for nature. I mean, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just remember growing up seeing Victor Wooten play. Oh my God. You know? But he started talking about nature.
Yeah, his base camp. Yeah.
And how he loves nature. But he goes, no, but not in the way that you think. It's talking about, you know, when you see somebody play and they're really good, you say, wow, he's a natural, or she's a natural. And he started talking. He said, well, what that really means is you're not afraid to unapologetically be yourself. Do you. play what you need to play the way you need to play it. Follow your own voice. And man, that spoke to me. I thought that was really interesting. And then he started talking about his mom who had passed away, and my mom passed away 3 years ago this February. So that was speaking to me. And then he said, well, Mom, when we grew up, we had a lot of sayings. Mom used to say stuff. You're like, oh yeah, well, like what?
Yeah.
And then he just spit one out. He's like, well, Mom used to say, well, we know you're a great musician. We don't need any more great musicians. We got plenty, you know? What we need is great people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just that idea of the difference between, like, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And that really struck me, you know. I teach that now in my courses. We talk about stuff like that. Yeah, I was resonating with that, and that happened because you created something. You created that platform and took the time to bring all those musicians together to tell those stories in a time when everyone was in so much pain. So very, very thankful for that. I was wondering what some of the sayings might be in the Reggie Young household. Like if Kylan and Taylor were here, he'd be like, yo, Dad always says this.
Yeah, my mom used to say, boy, put that bass down and go to sleep. Like, no, seriously. It was something, but that I Am the Talent TV program that, again, like if somebody said, what made you do that? I really don't know. And then it turned into this big thing, right? I'm not a podcast person, I'm a musician, right? But for that season, I became that.
Yeah, you did.
Right? So I was used to be the vessel at that time for that. Because people are like, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, I don't even feel like, I wouldn't even know where to start right now. So it wasn't my own doing. You know, I was being used as a vessel to present that. You know, the show with John Patitucci, the shows with, which is, man.
That
Man.
That one was good. There was some quotes in there I was pulling from, you know.
Yeah. Then some, you know, Andrew Goucher, and I did one with Abraham Laboriel as well, and never got a chance to finish the production and put all that together. But I still have all of that, and I really need to get that out. But like you said, Lincoln Goins and Victor Wooten and I'm sorry.
Chris Coleman. So name of people
Yeah, the
musicians.
drummers. Yeah, Chris Coleman and man, it's a lot. If you go on YouTube and look up "I Am the Talent" TV, and put my name behind it, all the episodes should come up. I think it was 12 episodes altogether.
Yeah, I believe so.
I was like, wow, I got a TV show.
Yeah, you mentioned
It's
John
a lot of work.
Patitucci. It was cool that you were putting those quotes up too.
Yeah.
Like you would call out a really poignant quote from every person, and you put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, and there was one from John Patitucci where he said, "We need music to show that people from all kinds of cultures can be a family."
Yeah.
And that was nice.
Yeah.
You know, all the different cultures and creeds and nationalities and beliefs, and we're so polarized, but that
John Patitucci.
that was nice.
He's a walking angel. He is an angel in the flesh. Like, yeah, John is all of that, and that's why one of the reasons why he works so much and with everybody. But he's so kind. He's so warm. He's all the time, right? I don't know if it ever runs out. I ran into him last. They had me eulogize Anthony Jackson's funeral a few months back. Me and John Patitucci were the main speakers for that. You know, y'all know Anthony Jackson, man. Like, and I was amazed to get that call to do that. And even then, John's just pouring into people. It's just one of those, like you, man. You know, just souls connect.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of the main things we try to do through music, right? Is try to connect. So right now, out of the four of us, Marcos has been doing a lot of touring, a lot of traveling in different countries. He could probably speak to some of that. The people, like you, no matter where you are in the world, you know the ones that there's souls that you connect, right?
Yeah, you definitely get a sense of how much people appreciate music like outside the country. I feel like just people outside the U.S. just love music more,
Yeah.
or just
Yeah, I've
have
heard that.
like just like a different appreciation for it.
Hmm.
Yeah, like some of the places where like we've had great crowds. So I play with Matthew Whitaker as a jazz pianist organist since like 2018, and so we've been to like Brazil, Poland, Hong Kong, and like everywhere we go with these festivals, people are just like so happy like to see us playing there. And then just like we had today, the like we're smiling when somebody plays something good, like
Oh.
even in that band the same type of energy is there, and then people really respond to like the genuineness that's happening on stage. So like people connect with you when you're being honest and you're playing. And like we see that in like
It's very
different
raw,
places we
right?
go.
You almost, as a musician, sometimes you. So when we were first, for me, I'll speak for me. When I was first starting out as a musician, sometimes it was a little vulnerable. I felt vulnerable. You feel naked,
Yeah.
almost. You're on display.
Yeah.
And like Jammal was saying, you better know the tune, because if you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't, man, it's downhill from there. Like one wrong note, and this is something Victor speaks on a lot too. Like he says, there are no wrong notes. And that's a good, I understand, like that, to me, that philosophy is great. A lot of scholars and professors would not like that statement, right? But it's deeper than the wrong note. It's a little bit more about encouraging you to get over it.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 You start thinking, I just played a wrong note.
There goes the whole show.
The rest,
Right, yeah.
the rest of the notes are never going to be right.
Right.
Because you played a wrong note. So if music is a piece, right? They say you put together a piece, a masterpiece, right? With this composition, this work. When you as a carpenter, if you build a house and you know you used in a certain part of the build wrong material, and then when the house is complete, every night that you go to bed, you're saying,
Yeah.
man, I messed that one up. And you're beating yourself up constantly over this completed piece, but you use wrong nails for one part. So what Victor's saying, don't focus on that, right? Look at the completeness and the wholeness, right? That's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of it, right? There's you got this whole piece, but you're focused on bar 13, beat 3, where you hit what's being called maybe the wrong note, and then you never recovered from that.
Meanwhile,
and
you
some-
could have turned lemon into lemonade, or you could have used
Yeah.
that as a branch to.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of, I don't know whether it was Nina Simone or Ella Fitzgerald, but I think it was one of the two, and she was singing Mac the Knife in Germany, and she forgot the lyrics, and she just started improv,
Yeah.
and it was so amazing that people started trying to cover her improv
Yeah.
version of that
Yeah,
tune.
Yeah.
That just adaptability,
It's
and
like-
it's beautiful.
It's like them saying some of the greatest records came from mistakes,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
right? When you come up with a song, some people do it that way, but most people aren't writing the song on paper for it to be theoretically correct. They just wake up with a melody, right? And then they go to their instrument, whether it's their voice, the keys, or the guitar, and they just like, okay. How do you say it's wrong?
Yeah.
Then it becomes a song, right? And I have this concept, and some of y'all are music teachers, I'm not, so y'all can beat me up. Music written was made to complement. It's like a library bank of music that was created, right? Some people reverse the importance and put so much emphasis in reading music, and it becomes a rabbit hole because reading music is so involved. And I'm not saying reading is bad. There's plenty of gigs on it where charts are in front of me. You got to do what you got to do, especially if you don't have the time. You're cramming or whatever the case may be. And sometimes it's needed for structure. But it's not the beginning, man. You know what I mean? Like, look at the Bible. The Bible, right? I hate to go back, everything's church with us, right? But the Bible is recording what happened. It's a recording. It's a type recording of what actually happened. It's not like the Bible just dropped on earth and then people started, okay, we have to do this way, we have to do that way. It was recording. So reading music is music that was at one time already created, right? So the creation, I'm still speaking to that, what's right and what's wrong. The person that created that music didn't necessarily create it writing quarter notes, dotted halves, and this, that, and yet they created it with a melody in mind. So the paper that follows that, it's like, okay, this is a great piece that somebody one day came up with and created off the dome, as they say, the top of their head. And there's so much music out there. How do we retain all of this stuff? We make documentations of it to preserve it and learn how it's supposed to be played to respect the original piece, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's something that's been bugging me for a long time because guys get into this thing about, well, can he read? What does that mean? Might not be able to read, but I bet you he could play the hell out of that instrument if you give it to him, you know? One of the reasons why I respect Pat Metheny so much, you know, there's some interviews where he talks about, and I hope I'm not misquoting, I won't quote it. To generalize it, he wasn't reading. He learned how to read later in life. Am I correct? You guitar player, you know.
Reading came later.
Yeah, it came.
Same for me.
Yeah.
Right.
If reading came later, what came first?
Well, when I go back, I also started on drums because like my older brother is an amazing drummer and like watching him play, but there was too much competition. So I like switched to guitar because like there was one other person playing
So you
it.
got delivered from drums too.
Yeah, well, I can still play drums. Like I'm not amazing, but like still hold the rhythm. But yeah, my first lessons with my guitar teacher was like CCM stuff, like just chords and like pentatonic scales. And I didn't really even like try to learn or get to learn music until I auditioned for college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you were just playing what you felt, learning the structures and the chords and the scales, but still trying to find your own soulful way through what sounds and resonates with you?
Yeah, like I was learning chords, and then in church, church is like instant feedback, well, like whether what you're playing or not works or not. But like then I was able to take like whatever lessons I had and then like practice that and then come to church Sunday and play, see what works, see what doesn't work. So yeah, it's just like every week of like real time feedback. So like in college, I went to the new school. We had theory and performance. So I was basically getting theory and performance like in church, but like seeing like how what I learned works in the real world, because that's almost like more important than practicing at home. It's like, how do you sound playing with other people?
Right. Really good.
This is why he's Reggie. This is why. This is a harmonic synth.
Right. Time to find it.
Harmonic.
Little fumbles here. I apologize for the fumbles.
That is the hardest thing to do. Control dynamic solos on a bossa, on drums. I was like, how is he doing that?
When I was practicing, like especially the younger years, I would practice everything loud, and I would practice everything to the point where I can talk and still like play.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
did-
like,
we
if
did
I'm
the
doing this.
But control,
Yes, I have
moving
to say,
around.
yep, all that stuff, yeah.
In the pocket, it's hard. I know. I started on drums, man. That's why I quit.
It was a real pleasure to watch. When I was writing just notes and questions as they pertain to the songs, I think I told you this already, but I just wrote in a big, smiling and listening.
Yeah.
You all were just, there was so much smiling and so much listening that was happening. You guys were really hearing what each other was doing and then responding. When Branden was just hitting those little, just single notes on the bell, it was so subtle, but it was so powerful, and that was so cool. And then the first song, Blessed, when you were playing the hi-hat, it looked like you were playing those 16th notes. You were moving your hand over ever so slightly. Was that happening, or was I just seeing
so the
things?
16 notes, it wasn't straight 16 notes. They were broken up on the hi-hat.
Yeah.
Instead of me going like this year.
With that hand playing the snare
my
was
left
moving
hand,
over to that hi-hat so fluidly, so fast, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, that was
I
from
was
church,
like, wait,
man. That's
am
from
I
church.
hearing, am I seeing what I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly what it is. Like, again, it's from church. And your question was like, where did it all start? It's love. That's where it all started. It wasn't money. It's not competition. It's not me trying to have the best drum set, because I didn't care what I was playing on. I just wanted just to sit on the drums and just play. And I think that's a lot of times what's getting lost nowadays, is that people are looking to be so perfect on their instrument
And seen.
on their instrument, and they get the wrong definition of perfect. Instead of looking at perfect as being that I need to be correct and play every note right, I need to look at myself as being the right person to play this instrument, because I have a gift from God to do it. And that's what people need to start changing how they look at it. And then it won't be when you get a missed note and be like, man, the whole show is ruined. Like, I can't play no more. It's like, no, I make mistakes all the time. Who cares? I'm giving it to God, so it's from my heart. So I don't care. I make a mistake, move on from that. I'm still gonna play. And that's what people have to change how they look at
Yeah,
it.
because there's so much more to give, and Jammal could probably speak on that too, because he's been in so many situations, especially as in a lot of settings, even beyond church, the piano player is the MD, right? So we'll let Jammal speak on that a lot too, because like he's a great guy to play with, because like I said, sometimes you can look, he's talking to you. You see it, man. You see what he's saying. Just he don't even realize it, I think, but his eyes says it all a lot of times, right? But he's the kind of guy that even if you make a mistake on your instrument, he'll cover it. He'll find it. He'll cover it. He'll be like, okay, all right. And if he realizes maybe not necessarily a mistake, but he can harmonically make it make sense if he realizes you're going to. Let me shut up and let him finish.
Just wrap around that thing.
Well, we're all talking about this thing of listening, and one thing back to the whole thing of reading music and playing music. One thing that I learned from my band director was the longest teacher you will ever have is your ears. So I was grateful that the guys that really started me off, they developed me to have an ear. So yes, it was some, hey, play this music and, C, F, B flat, whatever, learn the flats, learn all the, but they really trained my ear, and as I grew into playing full bands, then you learned it's not about you as keyboard player, it's about listening to the band. So I'm just grateful to have an ear that like what Reggie was saying, like sometimes, to me, I don't think he makes a mistake, but he goes into these great harmonic things, and I just try to compliment it in a way, and try to find my space and where he may go to. you know, and I think that's a big part in playing with a band is really having your antennas up to listen to the next person that you're playing with. It's, you know, whether it's dynamically or wherever, you know, the vibe is going, wherever the song is going, really listening. I think that's really important.
At one point when you guys were putting together that last song, you turned to Jammal and you said, "No, just be you." That was literally your words. And then when you guys finished that song, you said, "This is why he's Reggie Young."
Oh yeah, yeah.
What did you mean by that? Because those were literally the words. This is why he's Reggie Young. What were you
Because-
thinking at that moment?
After performing that Blue Bossa with him, I heard so much harmonic intelligence, like his knowledge of
Wow.
the possibilities. Some people they limit themselves. Music is not this, like, yes, there's only 12 notes in music, but look how much different genres of music and expression you can, and we're not supposed to limit ourselves into this thing. Well, you can't go from, you know, this diatonic to that. There are rules, but, you know, then there are none. So when I was listening to him, I was just so blown away by his sense of harmonic choices, and then rhythmically he's playing these rhythms where he's, you know, he's not throwing off the band, because that happens sometimes too, even myself. You could be doing something rhythmically, but now you've thrown the band off. But he was in the pocket with doing a different rhythm cadence than what we were playing. But it was not to throw it off, it was complimenting. So after hearing all of that, I was like, yeah, this is why you're Reggie Young, because, you know,
Wow.
that is just musical, just greatness, you know.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, like, you appreciate that, like, you can
Yeah.
play with a person, you
Wow.
know, work with a person in a band setting like that, you know.
And that's huge coming, like I said, coming from, he's a music mastermind. He's a genius, right? I know there's some keyboard players that we all highly respect. I'll throw a name out. He's an educator as well. His name's Arcel Vickers.
Oh yes.
And he's been on records since probably the 70s, the 80s, all crossing all kind of genres. He writes songs. He's an amazing musician. Okay? But that guy will call him to come play. You know, kind of like what Herbie Hancock would do with the Greg Philliganes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Herbie, I'm working on this project. Herbie's working on his own album, but he's in the studio, in the control room, and Greg Philliganes is on the piano playing out the stuff.
Right.
So Herbie can kind of just get a sense of, not only is he probably grabbing some, ideas
Right.
from Philliganes, but he's also, you know, getting a full concept of variations. Yeah, I wrote the song, but it don't got to be in a box.
I feel like this is so eye-opening for all the kids here in our recording studio program, because, you know, they want to be good and they want to have prowess and they want to, you know, the dynamics that were happening
That's
in
the
the room.
word. That's the word.
You know, to see
Dynamics.
Branden just play these notes where he just move over and just hit that floor tom, boom, come right back. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
it was like, whoa, wait, you know, yeah, you could have done a more powerful fill if you wanted, but you didn't want, and you chose accordingly
Yeah.
based on a dynamic where everyone was just listening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was really nice to hear. We were talking about dynamics before.
Yeah,
you,
dynamics.
you got heated. We were talking about dynamics.
Yeah. So,
You know.
I'd love to re-say that right now. We were all saying it. Dynamics. It's a foreign word now in music, and it's misinterpreted. People get offended by it now. If you, hey, we gotta bring it down. Some dynamics. Let it grow.
Yeah.
You know, even, you know, you plant a seed. You talked about seeds earlier, right? Planting a seed. Seed opens. You know, the seed sprouts, breaks through the dirt a little. You know, then it starts to rise and grow and bloom. And that's what you try to achieve on so many levels in the band setting. As a band, we need dynamics, right? Right. See if you follow me, and I know you will. As a band, there's a 4-piece band here. We all need to be on the same volume knob
Mm-hmm.
as we're moving throughout the song. But then individually with our instruments, we're working our own dynamics as well on individual volume knobs. So we're like a human mixing board with 4 channels with a master volume.
Yeah.
Right? Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. Right? Or channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, doesn't matter. And then there's a master gain. So now we're, as a band, we're all working together with that master gain, but we understand, okay, we're going to the melody again, and I want Marcos to take it. So I give Marcos that look and that nod. We all know we're dropping our gains individually, and his gain is rising. And that's how that should happen. But a lot of bands these days, everybody's here through the whole song and playing every scale, every note, everything they just learned off of TikTok or YouTube, imaginable. And I was listening to something the other day. I'm scrolling through Instagram, and there's this engineer. He's promoting some kind of software, like a mastering software, but he's playing this piece by this like jazz trio. Yeah, somebody's soloing. There were no chord comps. The comps were solos behind it, and the drummer was playing like 16ths and 30 seconds, and they were all clean. But I was like, I have a headache. How are you? Like, man, everybody's. I'm like, ooh, these guys, they're fast and clean, but.
The antithesis of feeling inspired, Oh Happy Day was so dynamic. I mean, you guys started with such a quiet tude. And when I asked you what was the genre of the song, you said that's an inspirational. and man, that dynamic build was so inspirational. Not just for us, but I could see you guys smiling at each other as it was building. And Branden was just keeping it so seemingly simple until it wasn't, you know? That's a joy. Yeah, I feel like our students in this program are going to glean so much insight from not only being able to listen and watch what you guys do, but to hear the philosophy behind what you do.
I think that song was a good example of less is more, right?
Less is more.
Normally that song's here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, happy day, right? And we just, man.
Well, and then you was that just sudden, spontaneous idea that you're like, what if we do this in a New Orleans, what was it, second line sort of style? Did you just come up with that right off the cuff?
Just to take that upbeat, lively tune, the same message, but bring it down, way down in tempo. Boom. And get the same message across, though. And that's challenging. That's kind of like, you talk about exposure and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because if you aren't confident in your selections, in your placement, in your movement to keep the song doing this, but because there's so much space in between those notes, like that's a singer's nightmare. Like there's a great singer we all work with, Melanie Daniels. And sometimes she'll say that to me. She sang with Mariah Carey for 20 some odd years. She's been a vocal coach. She's on tons of people's albums, out of church as well. Born and raised out here in Amityville. She says the slow songs are the hardest for real singers, because the voice control and the resonance and the sustaining, and when to choose the quiet parts, when to sustain the long notes. That's a challenge. And then the tempo, you know how hard it is to keep a meter at a drag.
Mr. Hoffman's father was a professional jazz drummer, still plays, and he used to say, "All right, we're gonna slow things down now." He used to tell him, "We're gonna play in big boy tempo now."
Yeah.
And what he meant by big boy tempo was we're gonna slow down.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that forces you to commit, to be intentional, and to be vulnerable.
Yep.
You know, that's
Yep. It's not just this runaway train. Now it's man, well, and we did all of that with no click track.
yeah.
That's the new thing now in music. You know, we're all using computers and click tracks, which is good, and we're learning how to reintroduce still being organic, while a computer is setting the meter. Follow me, click, 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 and we're like, now we've come a long way with it, right? So now a lot of times you don't even know bands are playing with a click track, which is good.
Yeah.
And the drummer's responsibility is to establish the feel of the song. So if it's going to have slow, I have to make sure that the song breathes, not just for my sake, but for everybody else in the band. Because if I begin to rush and start feeling anxious, they going to feel it, that's going to push the tempo. So for me, my job as a drummer, one, is to establish the groove, but also what's the message in the song that needs to get out.
Right.
Not for me to be playing a gazillion notes and start playing rhythmic cues and playing quintuplets and all those other things.
Right.
Those are great things to know, but what's the message in the song that needs to get out? So I want to make sure that I'm providing a good cushion for Reggie, for Marcos, Jammal, for all these guys to do what they do. And they don't have to be like, wait, drummer, I'm looking, what's going on? Rushing, you slowing down, rushing. I got to make sure that the pulse is straight, that the pulse is not fluctuating
Space.
up and down in space. And the more that you play with dynamics, softer, it brings the listener in, the hearer in, to be like, wait, what are they doing? So if you start whispering like this, people are gonna be like, wait, I can't understand. What are you saying? That brings the listener into you. And then now the message of the song can really get out.
So remember when, oh man, there's so much I want to say to that. You know, when we're all growing up on records and cassettes and real organic live instrumentation, whether it's a Stevie Wonder record, a Benny Goodman record, whoever, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Celine Dion, like whatever the record. And when it's at the end of the record, they always say that's when the musicians are playing the best part on the fade out. And so as the engineers like fading the record out, and you hear the band start cutting loose a little bit, and you're like, you trying to turn the volume up? You're like, ooh, listen.
Yeah.
Because they're being disciplined through the song for that space and that respect, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to speak to with Branden, why I appreciate him so much, he's one of the few drummers that doesn't feel like every 4 bars you need a reset drum fill to get back to the one. You don't have to do that every 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so many drummers do that. It's I don't know, like.
How do you mean by reset drum fill? Do you mean we just don't need to always have a fill at the end of every bar or every measure or every couple of we can just lay back and just keep
play
the groove, keep
man.
the pulse.
Yeah.
Play the groove.
The time will come.
Listen to
Then the fill's that much more salient.
Absolutely.
Georgie Porgy.
Yeah. Jeff Porcaro. Yep. Jeff Porcaro. Yep.
Anybody else?
Yep.
No. You just and then on that vent, that little oh my gosh, slick. They used to call that. My brother used to use that word when I was growing up. He used to, you hear that? That was slick. And I was little, I didn't know what he was talking about.
I remember that word.
But now I know. So when a musician, that's probably one of the biggest compliments you can hear a musician to a musician. Man, I was slick.
Yeah.
It means you was in and out and right back
Right.
to your thing.
Yeah.
That was slick. That's saying that. That's respect.
Yeah, Branden, when you did go into those solo drum pieces, I forget which song that was. When it happened, man, boy, we were drawn in. You know, it was that much. I felt like it was just that much more powerful and syncopated too.
Yeah.
Like you were moving around, and you were playing with our ears, but still keeping us on that pulse. You know what I mean?
And I was playing with the melody too of the song. So
Yeah.
while I was
Yep.
doing my solo in my mind, I'm going
Yep.
do 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 do.
And that was helping me know where that
Right.
dun came back.
So like so at the end, dun 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 dun, I made sure to play that to make reference to the listener. Like, okay, wait, what we doing? Oh no, that's the song. Okay, that's the melody of the song.
Yeah.
So that's also giving an indication to the musicians. Okay, this is where we at. Let me go on back. But in my mind, I'm building my solo around the melody. So I'm hearing I'm singing the whole thing in my head, and that's also helping me keep time. And I'm also paying attention to the drum that I'm playing, because again, if Reggie's playing
that's
a
interesting.
solo,
You're
I'm not
singing
going to
it?
hit a high drum. I'm going to hit a low drum. If the piano guitar player, if they're playing their solo, I'm not going to hit a low drum because that's a high instrument they're playing. I'm going to hit a high tone. So
Interesting.
it's just going with make sure I'm playing the melody and staying true to the song.
That's really cool. You're playing the drums like an instrument,
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
Melodically.
is.
Absolutely.
With a signature, you know.
Yeah. John
Not just-
Patitucci said on electric bass, I used to study him so much. I mean, that's my guy. We're great friends. But his Electric Bass 1 instructional video, he encourages musicians to sing. And he looks at the camera and he goes, I can't sing. But when you're taking your solos or when you're playing these scales, sing along with it to be more musical.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
So, good
Very
point.
cool.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. I don't know how much time we have left. I don't want to. Are we getting close?
Yeah, we're close. Yeah. Any more important questions that you might have not?
I
got to?
mean, if we want to wrap up, I definitely would like to end with another thank you. I heard through the grapevine that I don't know how you ended up giving this surprise bass lesson to one of our students in the collective recording studio program, Assad.
Yes.
He just sends me a text message, a picture one day, and it's you and it's Assad, and you got your arm around him, and you both have your basses and big
Yeah.
smiles. And
Yeah.
I said, how did that happen?
Wow.
How did you end up giving him a surprise? I don't know if you guys were neighbors or how
No.
that happened, but that was really neat.
Mother.
Because you're his hero.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And which I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
His mother works, I think, within the South Huntington School District. I think she's like different buildings, and I don't remember how she. So I'm sitting, because
He didn't know you were coming,
right?
right?
He didn't know he was coming there, right? I also, like my kids are here, so I work here as well 2 days a week, right? And she's walking by me one day and she stops and she goes, "Are you Reggie Young?" I said, "Yeah." And I'm thinking she just knows me from the school. She's like, "I'll be right back." So she goes to her car, she comes back. "My son loves you." I said, "Who's your son?" She said, "He's a bass player and he's a fan of yours. He's been a fan of yours for a long time."
Wow.
She didn't know I was working here at the school, so it wasn't necessarily through the school.
Wow. She just thought she saw you on the street. And said,
She
"Oh,
put that
man."
connection together, and we started talking. I said, "Well, you know what? I think it was around, I don't know if it was his birthday or around Christmas, whenever that was, but I said, let's set up a surprise. Don't tell him that you met me, but let's set up a surprise situation for him." And I gave her my information, and that's how that happened. He came to the door. She said she had to go to a friend's house or something like that. And I opened the door and it's me, and he just kind of stood there with his mouth open. And yeah,
That was great.
Yeah.
When I texted you, I said, "What a blessing," and you had texted back, "No, Monty, that was a blessing for me."
it was a blessing.
And maybe we'll end with this quote. This was another quote in "I Am the Talent." Again, I went back to that last night. It says, "Mentorship comes by sharing wisdom, and wisdom is taught through listening and watching. Never be selfish with your gift."
Yes, never be selfish with
And that story just illustrates that so beautifully. So we're really thankful, man. You guys so selfless with your gifts. to visit, you know, and make our place, our Whitman home, that much more sacred and special. To have you guys here.
This is amazing. You know what you guys are doing here. Let's do it again. Let's keep it going, and hopefully it'll catch on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys will be the pioneers. I've never seen anything like this on a high school level.
Beautiful.
It's crazy.
We're humbled though to have had you here. So
Oh man,
thank you guys. Really
you,
appreciate
man.
it.
Very good.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, man.
From the heart.
thank you.
All right. It's a wrap.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, guys.